Okay, in today's video, we will talk about converting Java, okay, to Perl object-oriented programming. Okay, so as you can see here, we have our Java class OOP, OOP3, and then we have our OOP3 Perl. Okay, we have students class, and we have students dot perl module or .pm. Okay, we have grades dot class, grades class, and then we have grades dot perl module. Okay, so I will discuss how to convert this Java class, okay, and what are the equivalent statements, okay, in Perl. Okay, so let's start first with grades. Okay, so as you can see here, okay, we have our grades class and we have our grades.pm. Okay, we have the following class variables. Okay, as you can see, we have also the following class variables. In Perl, every time you declare a variable, you must include my. Okay, so unless you include use strict. Okay, and then we have a method. Okay, this is our Java method. Okay, we're going to include 3 parameters. As you can see here, these are the 3 parameters, okay, wherein self is for this method under this class. Okay, so the class in Perl here is called grades. Every time you include package, it's the same thing as class grades. Okay, so if it's class grades in Java, it's package grades in Perl. Okay, and then we have here a method. As you can see, we have a method in Perl assigning 3 parameters every time you call this method. Okay, same thing sa Java, as you can see. And then these 3 parameter variables will be assigned to the 3 class variables, as you can see here. Okay, so they are assigned. And then we have another method, get student grades, which will return an integer. Okay, same thing as this one. We have a Perl get student grades that will return an integer. Okay, so all variables in Perl don't have to be declared as integer or string. Okay, so you can simply assign them and perform calculations like this. Okay, so in Java, it must be declared as integer if you're going to perform calculations like this. Okay, so self here, meaning this variable is declared here inside our class grades, so you must include self. So in Java, it's similar to this. Okay, in Perl itself. Okay, so we have the following calculations that will be stored to this variable. Okay, we have the following values that will be calculated and will be stored here, and using finals variable, we're going to return the result and divide it to 3. Okay, same as this in Perl. Okay, so the one here, by the way, is every time you call this class or Perl module, it will return 1. Okay, so make sure you also include this 1, meaning 2. Okay, meaning it successfully executed the entire module. So it's just an ending, okay, to this. Okay, so instead of in this grades class, we have beginning and we have an ending. So this will simply return, okay, true, that it executed everything. Okay, so let's go to another class called students. Okay, this is the students class in Perl. Okay, in Java we have here student class. Okay, in Perl we have package students, so it's similar to Java, which is a class. And then our student class, okay, extends to grades, so meaning there's an inheritance. Okay, so everything found here sa grades, okay, will be inherited inside this class students. Okay, so extends grades here in Java, the equivalent to this in Perl is this one. Okay, aside from using this statement in Perl, you must also include use grades. And then I have here a path where the Perl module grades is stored. Okay, so this file grades.pm is stored in this location. So you need to specify the path where this file grades.pm is stored. So if you're going to do this in Windows, you just specify c:/ for example, and you may include an escape character. Okay, next we have the following. Okay, so the following variables, okay, are, as you can see, okay, so is this one. Okay, so it's automatically declared here. Okay, so unlike Java, you don't have to repeat the same variables in Perl. Okay, because unlike Java, as you can see here, these are parameter variables. Okay, for this constructor. In Perl, you don't have to do that. Automatically, the variables that you specified here inside this constructor is by default a class variable. Okay, so meaning these three class variables here, okay, is not the same as these three parameter variables here. Okay, in Perl it's the same. So these three variables here are both class variables and parameter variables. So as you can see, I did not declare any class variables here, same as grades. Okay, these are class variables for this class grades. Okay, for students class, I did not declare any class variables like this, because automatically every time you use this, okay, you're declaring a class variable and a parameter inside the constructor. Okay, so all three variables are going to assign to the class variable. So that's how this works, this statement. Okay, next we have this method setStudName, which is this one. Okay, so this method will not return anything, and it will include a parameter, which is this one. Okay, this is how you specify a parameter for a method in Perl. So we have a method, we have a parameter. Okay, we have a method, we have a parameter. Okay, you assign the parameter variable to the class variable. You assign the parameter variable, which is this one, to the class variable. Okay, and what about this method? Okay, this method will return a class variable. Okay, as you can see, return the class variable stdn, which is this one. Okay, that is our class variable. Okay, so this is our class students, and this is our class students in Perl. So let's go to the main class, this one. Okay, so the main class here, as you can see. Okay, let's look into the Java code first. This one creates an instance of the student's class, okay, and assign everything to this variable or object. Okay, so this variable is an instance of this class. Okay, so while doing that, you're creating an instance of the student's class. At the same time, you're calling the constructor. So this statement is doing two things: creating an instance of the student class, assigning it to this variable, and calling a constructor. Okay, so we have here, okay, the constructor. So you're calling this, okay, by assigning values inside the parentheses. Okay, so this text or string will be assigned to this variable. Okay, this string will be assigned to this variable, and this integer will be assigned to this variable, and then using the following parameter variables, assigning them to the class variable. Okay, in Perl, we're doing the same thing. Okay, so we're creating an instance of the student's class, which is this one. Okay, assigning it to a variable called object. So while doing that, you're assigning values, okay, to this class constructor. So this is the constructor of the student's class. Okay, assigning all the values here, okay, to all three class variables. Okay, which is similar to what is happening here in Java. Okay. Okay, so next we have using the object variable, we're going to call a method set student grades. Okay, if you look at the students class, this one, students class extends grades. So meaning you can call methods inside the grades class. Okay, so since set stud grades is not found in your students class, as you can see, there's no method set stud grades here. So the method set stud grades is found in your grades class. So that's the purpose of having extends. Okay, in Perl, we're doing the same thing. Okay, you're calling this method, which is found here in your grades Perl module or class, and then this variable is an instance of the student's class, because your student class is, okay, is inheriting everything inside your grades class because of this. Okay, so that's what this is. That's what this is for. Okay. Okay, next we're going to call the method getName. Okay, same with Perl, we're going to call the method getName. Okay, so getName, by the way, is found here. Okay. Okay, this one, getStudName. Okay, so getStudName is going to be called, and if you go to your students module, this is the getStudName, it will simply return the class variable stdn, okay, which is this value. Okay, next we're going to call the method getStudGrades, which is inside the grades module or class. So this is the getStudGrades. Okay, we're calling the method, okay, and at the same time performing the calculation. Okay, since the following class variables already contain a value, we're going to calculate all of them and return finals divide 3. Okay, so the values stored in these three class variables are this one. Okay, so simply calling this method, you're calling this. Okay, you're assigning all three variables, okay, to each class variable. Okay, so all three variables now contains a value that you can calculate and assign to this variable, and every time you call this method, okay, it will return the finals divide 3. Okay, so you can print the result. Okay, same with printing the name of the student. So if you run perl, this is the output. Okay, this is the name of the student, this one, and the final grade. Okay, because of calling the method get stud grades, which is the result of computing all three class variables. Okay, if you run the perl program, you will see it will give you the same results. Okay, so that's it for now.